I've always stuck to say, well, the scripture is first. I know that that's true. And the reason I know it's true and I know it comes first is because I've had an experience of God. So I know God's trustworthy. So God's not going to lie to me. So I guess that's why I know it's true.
Well, I mean, I think if, because someone might just push back and say, well, that's great, Ray. Like, you've had an experience. So somehow, like for you, the scriptures seem to resonate. And, some might say it's, what is it? Self-confirming bias, so you see the world.
Confirmation bias. Yeah.
Confirmation bias. But I think it highlights the point. And again, you can't prove anything to anyone because we all have assumptions. Yep. We all have presuppositions. We have prior commitments to a way of viewing the world, viewing ourselves, what reality is about. These might be conscientious, like we're aware of them or not, but they're there. And so you've just stated the case that you have trust in Scripture. Mm-hmm. And people have trust in science, or people have trust in their community and how they relate to one another and talk. It can be in the mundane or in the great things. We all do this. So the question rather is, okay, like if you don't have a worldview like that, if you have skepticism towards the Bible, then you can be reinforced with that, or you can engage somebody that has trust in the Bible, and vice versa. If you have trust in the Bible, you can engage some of the skepticism if people want to talk. And I think that's the healthiest for all of us, because hopefully we're all committed to truth. And if there's one thing that can withstand interrogation, it's whatever truth is, whatever reality is. And I think as Christians, skeptics might say, well, you might be sincere in your belief, but you might be sincerely wrong. And it's like, okay, well, that's it. If that's the case, then I would want to know, but I have the same trust in you, as you mentioned, in the reliability of Scripture. And I think, they can be demonstrated, but I don't want to presume it when somebody has fresh readings or fresh arguments. You want to engage because you always have something to learn. And hey, guess what? There might be something you aren't seeing rightly.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Right.
No. You're totally right. At the end of the day, though, something can be true, and it will not ultimately. It can withstand any interrogation. Truth can withstand any interrogation, but at the end of the day, truth will not be vindicated fully until the Lord returns. I mean, true, and so that's
and your biblical commitments.
It's true. That's what's great about it.
I agree.
It's self-evident too, and that's what I love about what makes the Scripture even more true and more self-evident, is that it even acknowledges these things, like, look, deception, things like this, and all sorts of things.
Yep.
You're not going to necessarily come out on top. And again, that would be an argument for the skeptic to say, well, it's the perfect brainwashing mechanism because you can just justify everything based on you can justify it has an answer for everything, and then you say, yeah, it does, as the non-skeptic. So So the question is it true or not? And like you said, I think a lot of that has to do with a lot deeper things that are going on inside you than, we'll say cold hard facts as like, 2 + 2 = 4. It's not as simple as that. This goes back to human nature. We're relational beings. We're created in God's image. Mm-hmm. And so we're not just machines or computers who take input, do a calculation, and have an output. There is a whole lot more. We're a lot more complex than a calculation.